Today we'll be learning lesson 3 from Unit 5. Unit 5 is all about quadratic expressions. So we're going to start by taking a moment to just practice multiplying. So what I want you to do is practice 3.1. You've got A through F. So take a second and do that as a little bit of a warm-up. All right, let's see how we did. On this first one, we'll distribute. We get 6x squared minus 2x. Then x times x is x squared. X times 2 is plus 2x. Then the inner is 4 times x. And then 4 times 2. So note how we multiplied the x to both things, then the 4 to both things. So x squared plus 6x plus 8. All right, on the next one, again, the x will go to the x and the 5. So x squared minus 5x. Then the negative 3 will go to the x and the 5, making it plus 15. And I'll combine the terms in the middle. All right, on the next one, 7x times 2x is 14x squared. Then 7 times 3 is 21x. Then plus 6x. Then plus 9, making this 14x squared plus 27x plus 9. All right, on the next one, we can multiply this out, but this is a difference of two squares pattern. 4x times 4x is 16x squared. Then 4x times 3 is 12x. Negative 3 times 4x is a negative 12x. They cancel out, so then it's just minus 9. On letter F, it makes sense to use our perfect square trinomial pattern. Square this, multiply the two together and double it, and then square that. If you're not sure how I got that, or you don't remember that pattern, remember x plus 7 squared is x plus 7 times x plus 7. And with the exception of the difference of two squares pattern, this always results in 3 terms. You need to memorize this pattern for many reasons. But will I, ask you specifically do this without writing it twice and foiling it? Probably not. Okay, so let's review some factoring. I've got 4x minus 16, so I'm going to factor out a greatest common factor. 4. And I get x minus 4. On the next one, I don't like having a negative for my a, so I'm going to factor out a negative first. And that changes all the signs because when you factor out, you're dividing, so I'm just dividing by a negative 1. Now, in order to get 3 terms, you typically need 2 binomials multiplied together. What goes here and here multiply to first. They multiply to x squared. So this is an x and an x. What goes here and here multiplies to 48. So things that multiply to 48 are 1 and 48, 2 and 12, 2 and 24, 4 and 12, right? What else? 8 and 6. So I'm going to use 8 and 6. Because 6x plus 8x is 14x. All right, let's try the next one. All right, these are all even numbers, so we clearly should be able to factor out something. And you can see that actually 6 goes into each one of these. So I'm going to factor out a 6. So when I divide that by 6, I get x squared, then plus 3x, and then minus 4. All right, and we'll factor this. This becomes x plus 4 and x minus 1. Because x times x is x squared, and then I got the negative 4. But negative x plus 4x is 3x.
Do you always want it to where there's not a x squared?
That's right. All right, try the practice problem. All right, let's go over practice 3.2. Okay, what goes here and here has to multiply to x squared, so that's an x and an x. And then what goes here and here has to multiply to negative 27. So we could use 1 and 27 or 3 and 9, and then I think that's it. So what I'm going to do is plus 3 and minus 9, so that I get a negative 9x plus 3x is a negative 6x. On letter B, again, when we have a negative here, it's always nice to kind of factor that out. So it makes it easier. It's going to change all the signs. All right, what goes here and here multiplies to that, so that would be a y and a y. And what goes here and here has to multiply to 14. So I have choices of 1 and 14 or 2 and 7. I'll be using 2 and 7. Because it's a positive 14, they have to be the same sign. And that's the sign that they have to be. All right, look at letter C. Okay, we have a 2 in each term, so let's factor out the common factor of 2. And then we can try and factor this further. All right, what goes here and here multiplies to the first term. So that's x and x. What goes here and here has to multiply to 5. There's only 5 and 1. That's the only choices. So either it works or it doesn't. X plus 5x is 6x. All right, we'll try letter D. I'm going to factor out a negative, making this x squared minus 81. That's a perfect square, and that's a perfect square, and it's subtracted. So this is a difference of 2 squares. X minus 9, x plus 9. The square root of 81 and the square root of 81. Okay, let's look at some more example problems. I've got 5x squared minus 9x minus 2. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to get that 5 out of there, right? I can't factor it out, so we're just going to have to play with it. That's all right. All right, what goes here and here multiplies to 5x squared. So that'll be a 5x and an x. So now what goes here and here has to multiply to 2. So the good news is I've only got one choice, one set of factors, a 1 and a 2. The problem is because of the 5, it matters where I put the 1. Do I put 1 here, 2 here, or 2 here, 1 here? The answer is try them both. I'll put the 2 here and the 1 here. And which one gets a negative? Because that's a minus 2. One of these has to be a negative. I'll just make the 2 a negative. If it turns out I got the right number, wrong sign, I'll just flip the signs. That's 5x minus 2x does not equal negative 9x. Try again. Now I'll put the plus 1 there. And the minus 2 there. 5x squared, that's what we knew that. We knew negative 2, but negative 10x plus 1x is negative 9x. So that's how you do it. You just try them and see if they work. You could think about it and figure it out in your head, but it's easier if you just put them down and see what happens. All right, let's try letter B. All right, what goes here and here has to multiply to 16, and what goes here and here has to multiply to a negative 3y squared. So I'm just going to put negative 3y and positive y. No, the y squared doesn't have to be at the front. We can certainly rewrite it if we wanted to. Maybe it'd make it easier. I'm not sure. So I'm going to put factors that multiply to 16. So I'm going to try 4 and 4. So we already know that the first is 16 and the last is negative 3y squared. Let's see if the middle makes positive 8y. That's 4y minus 12y. Real close, right? That's 4y on the outside product minus 12y on the inside. That's a negative 8y. That means I got the right stuff, just the wrong signs. So nothing difficult there. Just switch the plus with the minus and the minus with the plus. I need a new whiteout. There we go. Okay. Okay, the next one. This is a difference of two squares. 49 is a perfect square, 1 is a perfect square, and they're subtracted. So this is 7x minus 1, 7x plus 1. And that's it. You just take the square root and the square root. 1 minus, 1 plus. Doesn't matter which one. All right, let's take a look at the last one. Okay, I need numbers that multiply to 4x to go here and here. So you could try 2x and 2x, or 4x and x. I'm going to try 4x and x, and I'm going to try 1 and 2. Both of these numbers have to be plus to give you a positive number there and there. That gives me 8x plus 1x is 9x. All right, for practice 3.3, go ahead and give those a try. All right, we'll go over practice 3.3. This factors as x goes there and x goes there. I need numbers that multiply to 10. So numbers multiplied to 10 are 2 and 5 and 1 and 10. I'm going to do a minus 10 and a plus 1 so that I get a plus 1x minus 10x is a negative 9x. All right, x squared plus 4x minus 12. Okay, I need numbers that multiply to 12. That's 1 and 12. 2 and 6. 3 and 4. So I'm going to use 2 and 6. Minus 2 and plus 6. Got to be different signs, so I get a negative 12. That would be plus 6 minus 2 is 4. All right, down here on this one. I need numbers that multiply to 2x squared. So it has to be 2x and x. And then we'll just do plus 1 and plus 1. 2x plus 1x is 3x. All right, on letter D, I always like to factor out that negative. You don't have to, but I always think it makes it a little easier. Changes all these signs, though. Okay, what goes in the first position has to multiply to 3x squared, so that's 3x and x. And then I've got 5 and 1 are the only things that multiply to 5. So you could think about putting the 5 right here, but then I'd have to multiply it with 3 and give me 15. So instead, I'm going to put a minus 5 there and a plus 1 there, giving me a negative 5x for the inside product, positive 3x for the outside, which combines to a negative 2x. Excuse me. Okay, so go ahead and do practice 3.4, and then we'll go over that. All right, let's see how we did on these. So I can't factor out a GCF because there's not a y in each term, and not everything's divisible by 2. So we'll just go straight to it, but always check for GCF first. So 2y and y is the only way to get 2y squared. And because the last number is positive, I know I need to have the same sign. And the sign being negative tells me they need to both be negatives. So I've got 1 and 8, and I've got 2 and 4. And so I'm thinking through those in my mind. I'm thinking, well, 2 and 8 makes 16. Then plus 1 is 17. So I'm going to put 8 over here. If I want 8 to get multiplied by 2, I got to put it away from it. Negative 16 minus 1 is negative 17y. All right, we'll move on to the next one. x and x. I need numbers that multiply to 20. And they've got to be the same sign, so think of them adding to negative 12. Well, that's going to be a negative 10 and a negative 2. All right, let's go to the next one. So I'll do 2x and x to make 2x squared. And then I only got a couple choices to choose from. I can either go 2, 1 or 1, 2. I'm going to go 1 and 2, and I'll make them both minus, so that I get negative 4x minus 1x is negative 5x. Let's take a look at the next one. This looks like a perfect square trinomial. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of 16 is 4. And since that middle number is twice the product of each of their square roots, x and 4 times 2 is 8. So it's going to be x minus 4 times x minus 4, which is x minus 4 squared. All right, we have one more practice set in this lesson, so do practice 3.5, please. All right, let's go over the answers to practice 3.5. All right, this one looks weird because it's got x's and y's, but if it's going to factor, it's going to follow the same rules. We know that what goes in the front of each parentheses has to multiply to 2x squared. So there's really only two choices, 2x and x, or x and 2x. So I'll just do a 2x and x. What's at the back of the parentheses has to multiply to a negative 4y squared. So it's either going to be a minus 2y and a plus 2y, or it'll be a minus 4y plus y, or something like that. I'm going to do minus y plus 4y. So I already know that the first 2x and x makes 2x squared, and the last negative y and 4y makes negative 4y squared. What I need to check is the outside product and inside. Well, that's 8xy. That's a negative xy. That's 7xy. So we're good. All right, on the next one, notice there's an a in each term. So let's factor it out. And then from here, this is a pretty straightforward problem. It's x, and then I'll do 1 positive, 1 minus. So I'll do plus 4 and x minus 1. All right, this next one. The first and last terms are perfect squares, so it doesn't guarantee it, but that means there's a chance this is a perfect square trinomial. The square root of 4x squared is 2x. The square root of 9 is 3. So what we need to do is see if this middle term is these two things times each other times 2. 2x times 3 is 6x. If I double it, I get 12. So that means this is a perfect square trinomial. Take the square root of 4x squared, take the square root of 9, and then take this sign in the middle. And that's.
Would it matter if I just wrote it out twice?
I would prefer the squared. I'd prefer that. This next one is a difference of two squares. Because 36x squared and 49 are both perfect squares. So it's 6x minus 7 and 6x plus 7. Which one you put first doesn't matter. Letter E, there's an x in each term. Let's factor it out. All right, so this will be x and x. I need something that multiplies to positive 48. So they have to be the same sign, but since this 16 is negative, it'll be a minus and a minus. Yeah, so 4 and 12 should work. All right, the last one here, 9 minus x squared, is also a difference of two squares. This is 3 minus x, 3 plus x. If you factored out a negative and rewrote it, it's fine. You would just have a negative sign and then x minus 3, x plus 3. The exit ticket says, describe how you recognize a perfect square trinomial. And I think that's worthwhile to remember. It's that the first term has to be a perfect square. The last term has to be a positive perfect square. And the middle can be plus or minus 2 times their square roots together. So both of those are possible.